Hello, good people. This is Spot of Nerd with Review Week, I guess is what we'll call it, or something to that nature, because although we will probably talk about some form of politics, we will actually be reviewing, even briefly, if necessary, a couple movies that I've been able to watch recently, and we will kick it off with God, how do you describe these just sheer piles of asshole? It would be none other than The Fast and the Furious number 10. Yes, they have made 10 of these fucking films. 10 of them. And guess what? There's gonna be one more. There's even a possibility it might even be broken into a trilogy because this most recent film, which, by the way, spoiler, 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 if you do not wish to know about, I guess, anything at all about this film, but let's be real, I doubt very much people are still watching these films, except me. It's like watching a car wreck, you just can't seem to look away. It's also very similar, when you have these other series. I mean, you look at Grey's Anatomy, you look at The Simpsons, these fucking television shows have been on fucking, God knows, 18 seasons now, 30 seasons with The Simpsons, 40, I think, something around there. But the long story short of it, these films have been going on for 10 years or so now, and this is the first time we have a cliffhanger. And quite the cliffhanger indeed. So, the really shitty part about it is, if you actually did manage to go watch this pile of ass, it's going to be another 2 years, supposedly, before we are able to find out what happened. That's at least according to Vin Diesel, who, of course, plays Dominic Toretto. It's all about family. Um, so yeah, in a nutshell, the basis of this film is you have Aquaman. I'm just gonna refer to him as Aquaman, which is Jason Momoa. I don't even know if that's how you say his last name, but you know who I'm talking about. We'll just refer to him as Aquaman. And if you watched gosh, it was like the fourth or the fifth Fast and Furious film where you still hashtag RIP Paul Walker, where he was still alive. Very sad that he is not with us anymore, but they are in South America and they're breaking out the vault of cash. It was the first time where, like, I think they had The Rock in there, and the bad guy who has the money that they stole has a son, and of course, the son is now taking revenge on the family. So everybody and their fucking mother is in this film. And what I mean by that, of course, are all the celebrities that clearly are so desperate for work that their agents will basically sign anything that gives them a paycheck, because my God, it is actually quite amazing to think just how many people are in this film. I mean, you've got Dom, and you've got Ludacris, and you've got the other guy, his friend, you've got Dom's girlfriend. I am so terrible with names when it comes to celebrities. You've got Charlize Theron. You've got The Rock. Spoiler, he's at the end credits. Jason Statham, I think is his name. You got the guy who plays Han. Um, Gosh, who else is in there? Oh, the dude that was in Titans, the live action movie. Obviously he's the devil. He's the spy, the betrayer, of course, that ultimately leads to everybody's death, or at least supposed death. We don't know yet, because again, it's left on a cliffhanger. Um, we have Paul Walker's wife, and we have John Cena, who plays Dom's brother, which we found out in the last movie. We have fucking Miss Marvel. What's her face? Blonde chick. I forget her name. But again, just tragically terrible acting and by every single person in this film. But I think, again, to kind of reverse it, that's what makes these films good, fantastic, amazing. They are so over the top. They are so bogusly bogus. Literally, the last film they went into space. There was always the running joke with the Fast and Furious franchise, like, oh, they're running out of ideas. What's the next one going to be? They're going to go into space. Lo and behold, the last film, they went into fucking space with a car. So that is literally how bad these films are. So, again, the Cliff Notes, you have Aquaman is basically trying to make Dom and the family suffer. And he's obviously trying to kidnap his kids so he can take over the world and destroy everything, yada, yada, yada. They literally recycled the previous films by Aquaman turning the usual group, or the group that we know about, into fugitives, terrorists of the world. And he obviously does not want to kill them because he wants to make them suffer before they die. And that's just how the story goes, but it doesn't mean that we can't incorporate everybody from all the films, whether it was Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift with Han, to at the end of the movie, they have officially brought back Gal Gadot's character. She apparently, but not necessarily, died in, again, I think it was number 6 or 7. That's another thing that really is one of the cheesiest fucking things about these films. Nobody fucking dies. They have the craziest stunts, the craziest shit they do with cars, and the only one to die was in this film, which was John Cena's character, Dom's brother, and he sacrifices himself to save the both of them, and really, what I think it came down to, and if you look at other reports, what it comes down to, I don't think they had the budget to keep everybody. I mean, you got to imagine the sheer amount of money that it's costing just to keep everybody paid has got to be astronomical. Let's not even take into account the budget to make this film, the budget to keep everybody on board. I mean, you're talking over a dozen celebrities. It genuinely is mind-boggling, and every single one has played a part in one of these films. The only new real character are um, Miss Marvel's character and the guy who plays the double agent who was in the live-action Titans. Look at the cast; you'll know who I'm talking about. But yeah, it is so apocalyptically bad that you just have to say it's good. And there's no other way to put it. There's no other way to put it, because you start the movie off with a bomb rolling through Rome, and then you end up with this secret prison base camp place where the bad guy and Letty, which is obviously Dom's wife now, end up. And so, anyway, but the bottom line is these films are just about family and coming together and trying to be, they're this almost like this secret service, a part of the agency, and yada, yada, yada. It's so tragically horrific. They always try to outperform the previous film. And what I mean by that is, they've tried to steal gas trucks. They've tried to blow up submarines. They've tried to do all of this and that, and the CGI is so fucking terrible. It is laughable the way they make these films. But again, I keep going back to the fact that that's what makes them so great. So again, if you are a fan of this franchise, why? Question mark. But at the same time, you'll understand that if you are a fan, this movie actually isn't that bad. It's actually kind of good in a way, which is, you almost want to throw up a little bit in your mouth just by saying that. But you kind of get it if you are technically a fan of the film. And I always say you got to give him respect, because even with Paul Walker deceased, they're still able to kind of incorporate him into the story. I'm very curious, especially with the technology of the world today. I'm wondering if they might actually do some sort of, I don't know, maybe use his brother like they did when he passed to bring him into the final movie, maybe the final picnic or something like that. But respect where it's due. They're still able to kind of work him into the story in a very unpredictable way, but it makes do. It is what it is, and I hate to say it, but I look forward to what comes about, like I really do. Nobody's fucking dead. They kind of at the end of the film, everybody kind of dies. Nobody's fucking dead. Nobody's dead, especially for the fact that if you look at the roster for the film, Fast and Furious 11, everybody's signed on, so they're not dead. It's just a matter of the miraculousness of how they will come back to life is going to be the laughable part of it all. So, um, would I go watch it in theaters? Absolutely not. Just wait for the DVD streaming release if you are that type of person. I mean, if you really want just something silly to watch and you've got one of those subscriptions to a movie, sure, go and watch it, but please don't pay real money to go watch this film. It ain't worth it. It's fucking garbage. It really, really is. But it's garbage in the best fucking possible way. It really, really is. And even to the point where I even bought, like online at Amazon, it was like 20 bucks. I bought fucking Paul Walker's car from the first film because, yeah, I'm a fan. I am. I like these films. I really do. They're fucking tragic and total ass, but you know what? Fuck it. I love them, okay? You can judge me. Because, in fact, I encourage you to judge me because I actually enjoy these films. So, yeah, that's that. But with all that said, we will. What are we going to tackle next? We're also going to tackle this week Dungeons and Dragons, which was another just piece of absolute fucking ass. There's a wonder. There's no wonder it recently came to streaming services very, very quickly. And we'll kind of, I guess, we'll finish off the week with truly one of the greatest films I've seen in a very, very long time. Sisu, which I'll tell you what, if there's a movie to go see, that is the movie to go see. It's on streaming right now, or I think there might even be availability in theaters, but it's the World War II film where this guy just goes ape shit on a group of Nazis. And trust me, if you enjoyed Inglorious Bastards, you will fucking love Sisu. It really is honestly one of the greatest films I've seen in a very long time, and I'm wholeheartedly saying that. I'm not just saying it to say it just to say it, but Sisu really is truly a masterpiece in of itself. So definitely go check that out. But thank you all so much for listening and watching. Do all the usual suspects if you would not mind. Subscribing, the following, the liking, the commenting. Let me know if you've seen Fast 10 yet, or if you plan to, or if you're even a fan of the franchise. Because, quite frankly, I don't really know if there is anybody else out there that is a fan. And yeah, super duper appreciate it. Share Spot of Nerd wherever you possibly can. Super duper appreciate that. All my love and support to you all, including the haters, because I am living rent free inside of your mind. And with that said, we will see you guys next time. Later, y'all.